Hey guys, tonight I'm going to build my gear diff for my TLR. This is my TLR right here. I'll go through that in a little bit, show you what's on it, but it's a 22 4.0 two-wheel drive buggy. I race it in the 17.5 spec very poorly at Maximus RC in Maine. It's an awesome track, great guys, love that place. So shout outs to them. Alright, this is TLR, part number 332067. I'm going to try to work around the camera here. So you get some thread lock, which I'm not going to use because I got my own. You get some 30K diff oil, which I'm not going to use because I'm going to use this stuff right here. I know 60K seems a little high, but this is what was highly recommended from most of the TLR racers at my track. As well as some of the team drivers and stuff there. So I figured they know what they're talking about, so we're gonna go with that. I probably shouldn't dump this like this, but all right, it's all in plastic, that's good. So we got our housing here. We got the rest of our gears, our outdrives, our pins, okay. And just so you guys know, I've never done this before. I've never built a diff in my life, so this is just as much a learning experience for me, or I should say more of a learning experience for me than it is a tutorial for any of you guys. But if any of you have also never done this before, well, I guess we can learn together, and at least you'll be able to see mistakes that I make, because I'll probably make a few, and hopefully not make them yourself. So let's make sure we got all our parts here. I'm only seeing one O-ring. Why am I only seeing one O-ring? Oh, there it is. Okay. So we got our seal. We got our two O-rings. Our two washers that go with them. Oh, everything's sticking to my mat. I gotta tell you, man, this Cal RC magnetic mat is one of the best things I ever bought for RC. If you ever drop anything, it just sticks and it doesn't move. It just bloop. Yeah, you need the sound effect, right? But anyway, okay, we got these guys here. We got our screws to put it all together. I know my hands are like right in the way, but this isn't really the important stuff. Okay, our two little grub screws, I don't want to lose those for the outdrives. That's our main pin right there, and then our four little, I think they're called sun gears. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Or not sun gears, spider gears, these little guys. These little guys here. And yes, I'm wearing gloves because I'm going to be using black grease and thread lock and crap. If you want to laugh at me, go ahead, I don't care. The only thing that this doesn't come with, which I'm kind of cheesed about, is the black grease that you use on the little O-rings. I mean, for how much this thing costs, it was like 70 bucks, $69.99 new. You'd think they would at least throw in the grease. Come on, TLR. Get with the program. So anyway, we're going to start with our little O-rings, a washer, one of these guys, and one of these guys. We're going to take some grease. And so we're nice and sealed up. We're going to put a little bit right in here. Come on. Brand new bottle, so it wants to come out slow. There we go. Just going to put a little bead in there. Well, that's not a little bead. That's kind of mushy, but whatever. Going to kind of mush that all around in there. People are watching this going, oh my God, what are you doing? But whatever. Okay, so we got some grease in there to seal her up. We're going to shove an O-ring on in there. I really should try to look at this through the camera. Is that staying clear? Is that focused? Okay, we're focused. I guess we're going to put a little bit on our finger. Oh, there's my New England accent shining through. My finger. Go stick it in there. Get a nice seal on there. And then we're going to stick a washer on there. Nope, not on there. Got it, bumble thumb, sorry. Come on, get in there. Go stick it in there nice and flat. I'm going to take one of these guys and stick it on through. Spin her around, I guess. Get some of the grease moving in there. All right, that's one side. So far, so good. Let's get some grease off the end of the shaft there. Okay. Now we're gonna do this side. Same thing. We're going to get some black grease in the little slot here. That was a whole lot of grease, but okay. I guess too much is better than too little, right? We're going to stick our O-ring in there. I got to turn this camera, hold on. There we go. Get ye old O-ring in there. Seated real nice. Take our other washer. Get that in there. Fits in there real nice. And again, we're going to take our gear here, this guy right here, and stick her on in the hole. Bam. Make sure she turns good. Alright, a little paper towel, get rid of some of this extra grease because I put a crap load on there. Alrighty then. Next step, we're going to put on the Outdrives. And as you can see on the gear here, there's a little flat spot. See that right there? And what you want to do is there's a hole here on the Outdrive right there for the little grub screw. You want to line that on up. And stick her on there. I'm not sure if it's supposed to fit flush or not. I guess not. No, it just goes right up against there. There's a little recess in there. I'm sorry, I'm like all over the place. Okay, so there's a little recess in there, and it goes up to that black mark. So you just want to get it on there, line it up with the flat spot. Now, the hard part, because I'm a bumble thumbs. We're going to take our little grub screw. I'm not sure what size this is. Okay, this is a 1.5 millimeter. So we got a 1.5 millimeter. Now focus. We're going to take a little Loctite. I used the blue 242. I'm going to put a little bit of the Loctite on there. Just a little dab will do ya. Not a whole lot. In fact, that's probably way too much. As long as there's a little on there. And now we're going to, once again, let's make sure our flat spot's lined up. A little hard to see in there, it's a little dark, and we're going to put our grub screw in. So nice and slow, you don't want to strip this thing. So we're going to make sure we're on our flat spot. We're just going to tighten her on up. Now you don't want to go crazy cranking this thing down, because I actually bought a used one of these off of somebody, and they must have reefed on that thing so hard. It was, the grub screw was completely rounded out, and I literally had to take a Dremel and completely cut down through the Outdrive, and it just obliterated it. So spin it, make sure it feels smooth. Feels pretty smooth. I gotta try to stay in the middle of this camera. I think we're good. Next side, same thing. Take our grub screw, put it on our hex driver, give her a little dibbery-do. Find our flat spot, which is right there. Find our grub hole, which is right there. Sorry I'm like off to the right on this camera. It's just the way I put my hands, I guess. But anyway, I'll try to turn you more. Let's try that. Alright, we got our flat spot lined up. We'll put our grub screw in. Just nice and gentle, let it find the threads. You don't want to strip this thing out until we hit our flat spot. And just give it a little snuggeroo. Give it a little turn. Feels like we're pretty good. Okay, now we're going to take this guy here. Going to, oh, I should probably put my cap on my Loctite, wherever the heck that went, and my black grease. We're done with that. All right, we're back. Okay, so I was putting these in right. If you look in the cup here, see there's this little indent here, and then this little piece that sticks up here. That is going to go up into, focus please, right into there. You can see there's a little indent around the pin, and that's where that's going to go. So you want the part with, I guess we'll call this a flange or something, with the extra material on the top. You want that against the smooth side. So if you look in here, we're going to put this one in this way on here. And that should fit right down on the bottom, which it does. I'm going to take our next one, same thing across from it. We're going to put the flat end where the indent is. Come on, line up first. Come on. Alright, let me try putting the pin on first. Okay, so stupid camera. Okay. So once again, the indent, you see that? The flat end is going to go in down to the bottom there. Just like that. Okay, now these two guys here. Now this, the flat surface, we're going to put with the little extra material sticking up. Because if you look on the opposite side, it also has the indents for those to fit into. So let's get this last pin in here. Man, the powder in these gloves making my fingers look nasty. I swear it's the gloves. And once again, flat side up, flange side down. And there, once again, I think those are called spider gears. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but everything's turning real nice. All of our pins are even. Okay, now the fun part. We're going to take the big pin in the middle, stick her on in there. Ooh. And our outside gear. I should probably, which way does this go? Okay, so see how this has kind of like an octagon pattern on the outside? These little ridges. And here you can see those little ridges as well. I believe that side is going to go down, so that locks in. Just like that. So you want the round side up. You want the hexagon side. I don't know if that's hexagon. How many sides does it have? Octagon. It's got 8 sides, so we're an octagon. Okay. So you want octagon side down. Oh. Once again, everything is spinning nicely. We're going to take our seal, line her up. And now the fun part. We're going to put some diff fluid in there. Like I said, I've never done this before, so don't laugh at me or yell at me if I'm doing it wrong. In fact, if I am doing it wrong, please comment and tell me. Now, I've seen a whole bunch of different ways of people saying how they fill there. Some of them put a little in before they put their gears in. Of course, I didn't think to do that. Some people just put the gears in and then they put the oil in. As far as how much to fill it, I guess it depends on the person. Some people swear by different methods. So I'm just going to kind of squeeze it on in there. Especially because I'm using such a thick oil. Sorry if that's not focused. Now I want to get enough in there, but I also don't want to get too much. So let's stop there. We're gonna... Oh. Maybe I should take this seal off for now, until we're ready to screw it in. We're gonna turn our gears. Sorry, it's out of focus. Get that fluid in there. Work it in real good. Man, this stuff is thick. Kind of let it settle a little bit, I guess. It's got a lot of space on the side there. Man, this stuff is rough on the arthritis. Okay, so we're going to fill that in there. All right. Once again, gonna schlep it all around. Let it get in all the grooves and crevices. I can still see a big old hole there. Man, this stuff is thick. It's literally wrapping around the gears. But hey, this is what they told me to use, so this is what I'm using. Where's my paper towel? Try to clean this up a little. Come on. Christ, I can't even squeeze it out. Alright, I got a ton of air bubbles in here, so we're just going to let it sit for a bit. And while we do that, I'm going to go get an adult beverage, so I shall be right back. Alright. So, this is really thick diff oil, and I got a lot of air bubbles in there, so I'm just going to let this sit for a while. But basically, all that's left to do is just put this sealing ring on. Stick the other side on, and put our 4 screws in, and we have a working gear diff. I'll probably leave this for quite a while. You can see all the air bubbles in there. There's a ton of them. So we'll come back to this. I don't know if I'll finish recording just putting those 2 extra little things in, but you get the idea. Let's see. Oh, I guess what we'll do now, let me get this out of this tripod. Brought to you by Guinness Blonde. This stuff is awesome. I love this stuff. Don't drink and drive, kids. So, this is my 22 4.0. Like I said, I raced this 17.5 spec. Most of it's stock. Like I said, I'm swapping this stand-up transmission to the lay-down. That's the next little project. But if you can see in the front here, I just got a cheap ProTech servo in there. What's the number on it? It's kind of hard to see, but I think it's like a little $50 servo. This actually came with the car when I bought it as a roller. It probably should be upgraded, but I'm not really worried about it right now. My speed controller, if I can get my wires out of the way here, is, of course, the light's shining on it. It's a Tekin Gen 3. It's the spec racer, so it doesn't have a whole lot of timing options, stuff like that, but honestly, I really don't need all that stuff. I'm just club racing. I'm not going for trophies and stuff. It has a ton of options. It works great. I had a little Hobby Wing Just Stock in here originally, 17.5 spec, and I had nothing but problems with it. In fact, I had to return it. Hobby Wing gave me a huge headache about it because I bought it off of eBay, and even though it was from an authorized dealer and had the authorized dealer sticker on it, they didn't want to warranty it. And so just be aware of that if you ever buy anything through eBay. Hobby Wing will not accept an eBay order confirmation or sales receipt as a proof of purchase, even if it's from a warranted authorized dealer. So just be careful about that. I've got a Reedy S Plus 17.5 spec motor in here. Once again, not really fancy, but it does the job. I like it a lot. It does have some wires are in the way, but it does have, you know, the end bell timing settings. I run mine, I think, around 38 or so. Nothing else really special about it. I got Schumacher blocks on here. These are really good for turf. I actually prefer the cactus, the mini pins, especially for our track, but the turf just, you race them for 2 races and they're done. They do not hold up to the turf. It just shreds them. But as far as like actual driving and everything, I really prefer them over the blocks. You don't dig in and flip as much. But I mean, really, that's my car. It's got stock shocks. I think I run 30 weight in the front and rear. I've got I believe it's a 72 spur on there. I got the cover on it right now, but I believe it's a 72 spur and a 28 pinion. Once again, for our track, that's kind of the par for the course. The radio, don't laugh. It's a little cheesy Tactic 300. It's the one that the old Arrmas actually came with. I just got it because it was cheap. I wanted to get on the track. And I mean, it does the job. It works. And I'm used to the radio from my Italian as well. You can see I got the 2 of them here. Like I said, it's really cheap, but it has endpoint adjustments, which is really all you need in a radio. You know, it's got a decent trigger. It's got a good wheel. Another thing I'll be upgrading in the future, but for now, not a big deal. It does the job. So I think I bought it out of an open box Arrma, you know, kit reseller person. I think I paid $25 for the radio and the receiver. So like I said, it was just to get me on the track and running. So it's something that I'll upgrade in the future. Not sure what I'm going to go with yet. I've always been kind of a Futaba fanboy when I used to do this stuff like 20 years ago. So I'll have to take a look at what they have. But that's my car. That's what I race with. Once again, this is the old body. This is the one that is cut out for the stand-up transmission. And I've got the new one in the box that, of course, I can't get this thing on one-handed. Hold on, let me put you down. There we go. You can see what the actual car looks like. So that's the original body it came with. I like the color scheme that the guy painted it in, so I stuck with that for the new one. This is J Concepts. I really like the J Concepts bodies. All this black marker, well, I was going to do it a little fancier, but I just kept it simple. And all that'll come off when I peel the protective coating. I just got to wait until, if you notice, there's like a cutout area in the back here. I have to see what part I actually have to cut out when I put the laydown transmission in. So that's why I haven't peeled it yet or thrown it on the body. I have a new wing as well. Which I painted, so that'll look pretty cool. But just wait until I swap that transmission over. I got the parts right there. So that's it for, I guess, the gear diff, which I totally knocked over doing all that crap.